I can go.
Yeah.
Right. Bye. See you later.
All right then. See you later.
Luca sent a
Hi,
message,
Luca.
so I just clicked on the link.
Okay. Hi, everybody. Can you all see me?
Okay,
Yeah.
well, I'll forward his message on my phone then. Okay, all right, bye.
You can see some says admit.
Hello, Luca.
Hi. Hi, Rosalind.
Hi.
I can't see anybody. So at the moment.
I can't
Sorry,
see
you
you.
can't see me. Sorry, just technical issues. Just a second. Okay. Yeah. Can you all see me now?
Yep.
Yeah.
That's it. That's better.
Okay.
Perfect. Yeah.
All right. Hi, everybody, and welcome to the first cooking class in Italian vegan. Now, let me just tell you for a second before we start cooking. Let me tell you for a second why we decided to do this. Simply because there is so much that you hear about, vegan recipe and so many complicated things that you find on the internet. But Italian cooking is often naturally vegan because so many recipes are based on bread, pasta, rice, plus vegetables. I mean, at the time of when my dad was young, for example, meat and fish were things that were consumed once or twice a year. So the rest of the year, the diet was based on vegetables, on pulses, on rice, pasta, bread. And that's why it is the Mediterranean diet is so healthy and is imitated all over the world. So we decided to do this because to show you that you don't need to invent weird and wonderful things to eat vegan recipes. And there are so many Italian recipes that are so naturally delicious and based on vegan principles. So what we do, we're going to go through some of the classics, the Italian basics. And so at the same time, you can learn to cook some good dishes, but also you can learn some of the things that we do when we cook Italian food. Sorry, before we carry on, can I please ask you all to mute yourself for the moment, because I can hear a lot of background noise that's going to be recorded as well. So if you could please mute yourself, that would be great. So what I was saying, while we are going through the different recipes, I will tell you a little bit as well about how we cook Italian food. Okay, so today we're cooking spaghetti aglio e olio, okay, which is one of the basic recipes in Italian cooking, and it's also the base for a lot of them for a lot of combinations with other ingredients. So the main ingredients today are, apart from the spaghetti or linguine, whatever you prefer to use, are garlic, parsley, and if you like it, a little bit of chili. So if you don't like garlic, tough luck. Okay, because it's really the main ingredient of this. But there are ways that if you don't like to eat a lot of garlic, there are ways that you can minimize the use of it. What we will need for cooking is, well, first of all, a kind of like a 5-liter pot where we cook the pasta. I'm asked a lot about what do you do when you cook pasta? Do you put oil in the water, etc., etc.? We don't put any oil in the water because it's just a waste of very good olive oil. You only need a pan that is kind of like large enough to have, so that the pasta can freely swirl in there without any problem. You don't really want to use a small pan because then that will get the pasta to stick to itself and would cause problems. Then I use kind of like a frying pan, something like this. I like to use one that's got quite a high border because we'll be finishing off the pasta in the frying pan. And obviously we will need a colander, okay, to once the pasta finishes cooking. As for the ingredients, you can see here we need some garlic, some fresh garlic. Then here I just have a nice bunch of fresh parsley. Okay, so just washed and dried. Sorry, I dropped some on the floor. Okay, and then we'll obviously, you know, if you're cooking along with me, obviously wash the parsley before you use it. I have washed it and dried it already, so so it's ready to be used. The other thing I wanted to discuss with you is what we'll be using for cooking. Now it's very important what type of pasta you're using. Okay, sorry, is there anybody else that's trying to get in?
No.
Sorry, just a second. Let me just double check. Okay, so these are the two types of pasta that we'll be using. For people that don't have any problem with gluten-free, this is the best made pasta that you can buy. Okay, it's called di cecco. Whether you use spaghetti or linguine is a matter of taste. I prefer using linguine, and this is what I'll be cooking today. Can you see it? Can I say it close up? Linguine, because they've got a slightly different texture. The spaghetti are round, where the linguine are slightly flat. So they got more of a surface that can then absorb better the sauce that you're preparing. If you have a problem like me, you can't eat any gluten, this is the best one that I found, which is a Barilla gluten-free pasta, and it's the only one. I've tried many different ones. This is the only one that actually is good and keeps a good texture when you cook it, and you can cook it al dente. Okay, so what we'll be doing now, we'll go through the process of cooking. Okay, so we'll start. This is what we're doing today is one of those things that you can cook while the pasta is getting ready. So you don't need to prepare the sauce in advance. You can do it. It's literally once you put the pasta in the pot and it starts cooking, you can prepare your sauce because it only takes 5 minutes. Okay, so first of all, we put the water on for the pasta, so it can start warming up. I put it on a low heat at the moment so we can chat a little bit. Now, always start, please, with fresh water, cold water. Don't get tempted to just boil the water in the kettle and put it in there because it does have a funny taste. Oh, by the way, while I'm doing this, if you have a question and you want to ask something, please unmute yourself and you can ask me a question. So while we're doing this, I forgot actually the other ingredient that we will need is extra virgin olive oil.
Luca,
Yes, here I go.
is there salt in the pot with the water? Do we need to put salt in it?
At the moment, there is nothing. I will show you all the different steps. We don't
Okay.
put water to begin with, simply because it takes longer to cook.
Okay.
So we only add
Thank
salt
you.
at the moment when the water is boiling, just before we put the pasta in. Okay. I'll just get one glass. Okay, how much olive oil you use, it depends on how many people you're cooking for. Today I am going to be using 300 grams of dry pasta, and this is enough. It depends if you're cooking as a main course or as just as part of a larger meal, because I suppose the first thing I just take for granted, an Italian meal normally is formed by 3 or 4 parts, which is, first of all, you have your starters or antipasti, then you'll have a first course, which is generally a dish of pasta or rice, like a risotto. Then you will have the main course, which traditionally is either meat, fish, or obviously a vegetarian alternative. And then you have you'll have something with the main course, which will be like another dish of vegetable, like salad or some vegetables on the side. And then you have your dessert and fruit and so on, and coffee. Don't forget the coffee at the end. So it depends how much oil we put in. It depends on how many people you're cooking for, and how much pasta you're putting in. I am cooking. If you're cooking as a main course, we use generally about between 125 and 150 grams of pasta. Like so, today I'll be cooking 300 grams, which is enough for 2 people as a main course. Okay.
Luca,
so
how much water do you put in a pasta to cook pasta?
I have this is a 5-liter pot, and I fill it up for about 2/3. So we're talking about 3.5. Generally you use about at least 1 liter of water for every 100 grams of pasta. Okay. But you can have more. You know, obviously nothing happens, but not less. Okay, because otherwise it tends to stick. So I'll be using about 100 grams of olive oil. So as you can see, a lot of the things we do are kind of like not exactly measured, because that's the way we are being brought up. So this is roughly about 100 grams of olive oil, as you can see, which is, it can seem, you know, obviously it's one of the main ingredients for the pasta. We're not having a sauce, so you need to have quite a little bit of olive oil in there. And now we'll come to the garlic. I'll say this is enough for 2 people. It would be the same quantity of garlic really for about 4 people. We have got about 6 cloves of garlic there. Okay, so what I am doing, it depends if you really like garlic or if you don't. I mean, for people that don't like to eat a lot of garlic, you can leave the cloves as they are and then remove them at the end. But I really like it, so I rather crush it and put it in there in little pieces. So let me just grab a garlic crusher and I start basically crushing the garlic in the olive oil. So one by one. So we are talking about social distancing. So this is a very good way of keeping your social distance, because nobody will want to get too close to you after you eat all this garlic.
Luca?
Yeah?
If it's 1 person, how many cloves of garlic?
I would say 2 or 3.
2 or 3, great, thanks.
Yeah, it's to taste really. If you like garlic a lot, use more. If you don't like it so much, use less. But as long as you put a couple in there, you're fine. Okay, so almost there. There's already a nice aroma of garlic in this kitchen. Okay, so who's cooking along with me? How many people are actually attempting this live? Are you, Rosalind?
I'm cooking.
Oh, very good. Very good. So this is the other main ingredient, which is the parsley. Can you see this nice bunch of parsley? Okay. What I do first, I pretty much cut off all the big stalks. They're in here. Because we'll be using basically the leaves right at the end. But as for the stalks, I will actually cut them up in little pieces, and start cooking them straight away, because they take a little bit longer. A little bit longer to cook, and they're a little bit harder. But we don't throw anything away, because this is all very good, and all the vitamins are in the salts, and a lot of the flavor as well. So we don't really want to waste anything.
How much parsley, Luca?
You can see a nice bunch.
Okay, quite a lot. Okay.
Well, it's again depending on how much you have. And we buy parsley in industrial quantities because our rabbits love it. So we always have lots of parsley in the fridge. I feel a little bit guilty sometimes because like I'm stealing the rabbit's food. But that's the way it is. Okay, so I'm gonna put the pan on. So you want to really on a very low setting, because we don't need to really cook these ingredients for long. So we just want it to gently simmer in the olive oil. So this is the scissor, and I put all this garlic they have cut up in there with it. And while this is going on, I'll give it a little bit of a swirl. While this is starting to cook, I'll turn the water back up, because now that we started this process, it won't take very long. So we want to be ready to put the pasta in soon. Okay, so while that is cooking, I'll cut up the rest of the parsley. And I must say that parsley and garlic is a marriage made in heaven. It's really a wonderful combination, and it is the base for a lot of Italian dishes. For example, if you not if you're vegan, but if you eat for example fish or shellfish, this is the base of a lot of those dishes that you might have tried when you were away. But as you can see, a lot of the ingredients that we use in Italian cooking are based on whatever is fresh and available at the time. And to be successful in Italian cooking, you have to have access to good fresh ingredients. And it is Italian cooking is very seasonal, because
Luca,
yes, sorry.
I accidentally put the parsley in the pot.
Oh no!
How do I recover? Do I have to start from scratch?
No, take it out. If you have you can take it out obviously with a if you got like a strainer or something like this, like a spoon with also that you can just like scoop it out really. As long as you got some parsley left, this should be okay. You still got time. So we're just here preparing this parsley, and in the meantime, while I'm doing this, I'll weigh my pasta, so I know how much I'm using. It's going to be a little bit of noise. Okay, so it would be a little bit more than half. So I'll be using 300 grams. Pretty much. Yeah. Using 300 grams of pasta. Now, there is the difference between using a good quality pasta like this one, or something like the supermarket's own brands, which we never ever use. If you can avoid it, please don't use that lower quality pasta, because you will ruin your own dish. The one thing, there is one easy way to see when a pasta is good quality or not, is to see the recommended cooking times. Now, if you look at, I mean, I don't know if you can see, if you can see it on the screen, that on this pasta it will say cooking time al dente 12 minutes. Okay, that means it takes a while to cook decent pasta. If you buy one that is ready in 5 minutes, A is not Italian and B is not worth eating. Okay, so we have very few ingredients. Make sure that those very few ingredients that you use are really, really good quality. So all the dry pasta that we use, the normal thing for non people that don't have a problem with gluten, we use this make, the Cecco. For the people that have gluten problem, they have to use gluten-free pasta. Then we found that this one is really, the Cecco doesn't produce a gluten-free pasta, but this one by Barilla is very good, and the best alternative we have found, you know, to normal pasta. Okay, so as you can see, this is very gently now starting to simmer. There is no hurry. I mean, there is really doesn't really take long to cook. So once the oil starts bubbling, then in a couple of minutes it will it will have all the cooking time that we need. So we really want to time it with the when we put the pasta in the water. So the pasta will take about as I just told you, it takes 12 minutes to cook properly, but we want to take it out a little bit earlier because we want to finish the cooking in the pan. So we take it out about 1 or 2 minutes before the 12 minutes that we recommended, and then we'll finish the cooking together with the garlic and the parsley. Okay.
Luca?
Yeah.
Can you just tell us what we did up to now so I can check? Did we put pasta in already or not?
Okay, what we did, we put the garlic in there, a crush of the garlic, put it in there with the olive oil, and I put all the parsley stalks and some of the leaves. You don't have to be too precise with it. All the thicker part of the parsley is already in there. Okay, so it starts cooking and softening up. Okay, and just the other thing, we just put the water in the water in the pan, ready to boil. I might actually switch it to the bigger hob so that it cooks faster. There we go. So, and I get ready my salt. Now, we put salt in the water once the water boils. Okay. Now, this is a big thing about cooking pasta, and something that I find not many restaurants, even Italian restaurants in the UK, manage to do. If you don't put salt in the water, and I'll show you how much to put in, the pasta will be tasteless. Doesn't matter how good the sauce is, the pasta will not come out right. So although we're going to put quite a lot of salt in there, obviously you're not eating all that salt because the salt will dissolve in the water, and then when we use the colander, a lot of that water will be thrown away. So it's just a way for the pasta to absorb some of the salt in the water, and then be nice and tasty when we add the sauce. Okay, so this is just about to start boiling. Let's see. So for this quantity of water, there's about, let's say, about 3.5 liters of water in there. I will be putting 2 tablespoons of salt, so quite a lot. Okay, you can see. So that's 1, and to probably this will slow the the boiling down a little bit. So we'll take now another minute to boil, and when it's ready, we can throw the pasta in. In the meantime, if you can you see the pan? There is a really nice smell of garlic here as the garlic is starting to cook. What we want to do, be very careful. We don't want to fry the garlic. We just want you to gently color. Okay, and as soon as it's starting to color, that will be ready for the next step. So at the moment we have some of the parsley in there with the garlic. You got a nice bunch of parsley here. Now we're going to use some of this to prepare the sauce and a little bit at the end. Okay. So we're almost ready to put the pasta in. Now another little trick of cooking long pasta like linguine or spaghetti is before you put it in, I will be breaking it in half. This is because if you can leave it as it is if you want. The only thing is going to be make it really difficult to eat. I don't know if you've been having an Italian restaurant trying to eat pasta with your thing and just like half the plate comes up. So this makes eating it at the end of it when it's ready a lot easier. So in a minute, once the water is happily boiling, I'll be breaking this and putting it in. I'll just get myself a fork to turn it around when it's in. This is really good already. It's making me hungry already. Any question at this stage? No? Okay, so we're ready to put the pasta in. You can see I'm breaking this in half. I'm throwing it in. And give it a good turn. This is important that you do it as soon as you put the pasta in because you don't want it to stick. That's why you need the pan that it's large enough so that you have room for the pasta to move around in there. Now this is cooked a little bit. We put it in a little bit. So at the moment I'll turn it off. There's no need to put any more. And in a second, I will show you another little trick, which is very important, as this is just not just the water the pasta is cooked in, but we also be using some of this water in the sauce. And I'll have a mug ready. So you can start getting yourself like a mug or something else where you can save some of the cooking water, because before we take the pasta out, we actually save some of the cooking water in case when you put the pasta in the pan, if it comes a little bit too dry, then we'll have a little bit of cooking water to help keeping the pasta nice and moist. So keep turning this around. This will take about 10 minutes now. I can see at the moment it's still very, it's still very rigid. Now what I'll do, I'll turn this back on. Where are we? Which one? On a very low heat again as before. What I'll be doing now, I will add about, let's say about half of this parsley. Put it back in like this, and I'll keep a little bit for the end, just to add at the last minute. And I will add a few, about, let's say about 3 spoonfuls, large spoonfuls of cooking water. To the sauce. And this, I will leave it like this on a very low heat, cooking gently for.
How many water? How much water?
I put about three large spoonfuls.
Tablespoon.
Yeah, like a. Can you see?
Oh, okay, big spoon.
Like
Okay.
this, and you can have 3 or 4. 3 or 4. Start mixing with the parsley. As you can see, can you show a close up of the pan? As you can see, this is really cooking very gently. Okay, so it's one of those dishes that doesn't really. The ingredients are very fresh, and you want to keep them fresh. We don't want to overcook it. Okay. You can see this at the moment is still quite rigid, so it's nowhere near ready. It'll take a few more minutes.
Luca, is your spaghetti pot, is the water boiling in your pot?
Yes, can you see?
Okay, so I need to get mine to boil. Okay. Right.
Okay, so it's rapidly boiling. And I say I never waste a good olive oil in the cooking water because it's not really needed. I will post all these later. By the way, I don't know if you've seen on the Facebook page. I've listed all the things that I'm using, all the ingredients, and also the different implements like the garlic crusher, the pots, and whatever. So if you need to, if you don't have some of these things, I mean, normally you can get it from your local supermarket. But you want to order them from Amazon. I've included some Amazon links to these things. Now, if you're not sure about when to take the pasta out, I mean, I don't generally bother to put a timer in simply because we can see when the pasta is ready. But if you want to make sure that you don't get it wrong, then put a timer when you put the pasta in the water. This will still take a few minutes. Also, if you try like a one Linguine or spaghetti right now, when you taste it, you can hear that there is quite a bit. There is still like crunchy inside. So that needs to cook a little bit longer before we can actually drain the pasta in the colander. It won't be long now, so I'll start getting this ready. This is looking good as well. Can you show that close up? I mean, the best way of telling when this is ready is really by the aroma and the smell that's coming from it. As you can see, you know, it's not hard cook. It just gently cook to release the flavor. It just really, in a way, almost kind of like wilted rather than cooked. You can see it's very, very gently bubbling now. Okay. Let's see if this is now ready to come out or not. Almost. I would say another minute. Another minute and we'll take it out. So what I'm doing now, while I'm just waiting it cooks for another minute, I will get a mug. Or I mean, if you're not comfortable with this and you want to, you can use a what's it called? A ladle to take some of the boiling water out. You can also do this. And so I have plenty of water that is almost like a full mug. Plenty of cooking water. Then I can use to finish off the pasta. So let's see now. Let's taste it. If this is ready. Yeah, it's a little bit al dente as we want it. So I'll turn the heat off. And let's drain this. Now, I haven't drained all the water out of it because we still want it pretty moist. As you can see, there's still water coming out. And now we are ready to cook it in the pan. Let me get this out of the way so I can put it in this one. If you're cooking it on a low heat, as you can see, this is on a minimal setting. And once we put the pasta in, yeah.
So what have you done? I've missed. So you've turned off you've drained your spaghetti, and then you had to leave water in the pot. Did you say?
No. I say when I drained the spaghetti, I didn't drain them to get them really dry. They were still dripping with water, really. Ah. Okay, so I put them in there, and now I want to finish cooking them in the pan. So I added the rest of the parsley I had. I put a little bit of water like this. So I'll leave them cooking for another minute here in the pot. And what you want to do whenever you're cooking any pasta sauce, the worst mistake you can do is to get the finished product too dry. So really you want to leave it nice and fluid. You can see it. So we'll cook it for a few more seconds, then another 30 seconds, and then it will be ready to dish out. Oh. Okay, so it's very, very quick, as you can see. So we've added, right now, at the end, we added the remaining parsley that we had. Added a little bit of cooking water. Don't ask me quantities because I do everything by eye. But I would say maybe it's like 2 or 3 spoonfuls of cooking water, and it's now ready. So, but you can see this. I just want to it's difficult to show on a video, but I want to show you the consistency. This is not dry at all. It's still nice and moist. Yeah. So it's now ready to dish out. So there we are. The one step that I forgot actually to mention is that if you like a little bit of heat, you know, midway through the cooking, you could have added a little bit of dry chili. In this case, I haven't added any, but this is spaghetti aglio, actually linguine, aglio e olio. Are any of you ready? Ready with their dish?
Quite. What were the cloves for, Luca?
Sorry?
What were the cloves for?
The cloves, we mean the garlic cloves.
Oh, garlic.
At the beginning. This is the main ingredient, was the garlic at the beginning. Did you forget that? Let me have a look. Can I have a look? I'll come to the other side of the camera so I can see as well. Where are you? So is it ready? Is your pasta ready?
Oh,
My pasta is still cooking.
Your pasta is still cooking. This is,
Rosaline, your next trip has to be to Italy.
Almost. I'm
You
putting
put
in
the garlic.
the dish.
so let me take out the rest of the recipe. So we made two here.
Look. Oh. I'm ready now. Look. Pasta. Luca.
Yeah. Let's have a look. Oh wow. Yeah, it looks good. It looks good.
I have to taste it.
Just check if it is a little bit dry. Just check that it's not too dry. If it is a little bit dry, just add a few drops of cooking water. Just to have some. So we have now a live tasting.
Okay, I've just quickly permission to taste it. Be the first one. What's that?
Yeah.
Very, very nice.
Okay, so we'll finish cooking this up.
Very nice, Luca.
You're very welcome. So this is one of the main ways of preparing pasta. On the next cooking class, there are two options. I want to kind of like poll you a little bit. I can either show you how to cook the simple tomato base, like tomato and basil pasta, or we could do a risotto. What would you think? I'll take votes.
Risotto.
risotto.
Anybody else?
I wanted to say pasta.
Sorry, you prefer the pasta?
So one time one time the other.
What about Wendy?
Yeah, so we can do both at a different time.
What does Wendy like?
Say risotto. I love risotto. Yeah.
Oh,
Risotto, okay.
Sorry, complicate things, yeah.
no.
No, it's simple. That's what I'm saying. I want to go through these first few demonstrations. I want to go through the basic preparations of Italian cooking. So the next two is going to be like, one is going to be the risotto, and then the next one going to be like basil and fresh tomatoes pasta. So I can go now and enjoy this. So I hope you enjoyed it, and hope to see you again next week.
Yes, thank you, Luca. It was fun.
That's okay. No,
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bon appétit.
Bye-bye.
I hope you got some tips from this. Okay.
Yes,
So,
it was great.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you
Thank
so
you.
much.
Enjoy.
Thank you.
Bye.
see you next
Bye.
week. Bye bye.
Bye.